All right, today we're talking about size. The size really matter. The size really matter. The size really matter. And that's a yes. So we get this question all the time. What do I use for paint? Like how much paint do I need on my project? So it all depends. What are you painting? If you're painting, let's say a model car, you have a couple options. You can go with a 4-ounce RTS or a 2-ounce RTS or even a spray can if you don't have an airbrush or a spray gun or a compressor at home. Now, if you're painting maybe something a little bigger, a BMX bike, a road bike, you can use an aerosol can. That is gonna be the big difference. An aerosol can, you guys can hear it. It's the best thing when it comes to it. And there's always little trips. We have a couple of videos, tips and tricks of painting with a spray can. And if you saw in our other videos on YouTube, we also did a motor. And this is great. And you see on our social media pages, you've seen people paint a whole engine bay. Now, I've had customers buy spray cans and they also spray and paint their whole car. I don't recommend that, but whatever. Each to their own. It's not my cup of tea, but if you can pull it off, kudos to you. Now, we have other projects. Now, let's say you have a cafe racer, a bagger. Those are two different motorcycles altogether. So you can have a cafe racer. It's gonna most probably need, I would say, a pint, right? A pint is this bad boy, 16 ounces of beautiful Tropical Glitz paint, and it goes 1-to-1, so that's gonna give you 32 ounces. That's gonna give you a quart of paint. Now, that's enough to paint a cafe racer a pint. Now you have, let's say, of a chopper, a bobber. That's usually just a tank and a fender. Same thing. I think a pint is more than enough for that project. Now we have motorcycle guys that paint the whole car with spray cans. Hold on. That makes no sense, right? No, they paint the whole bike with spray cans. I don't know what I'm talking about. And they use spray cans and they get a phenomenal result. It's all in prep. Now we have quarts. Now quarts come into play if you're gonna start doing something like a bagger. That you might need 2 quarts. 2 quarts is gonna give you half a gallon of sprayable material, and that will work out great.
Negative. That's wrong. That's going to give you 1 gallon sprayable material.
Now we're gonna talk about the gallons, the big boy, the big guns. The biggest one of them all. So gallon paint, that's a 1-to-1 like everything else. A gallon paint is enough to paint a mid-size car, like I said earlier on. Now let's say you're painting an El Camino, a G-Body, your Firebird, Trans Am, maybe a little bit older car too, a Chevelle. You can get away with a gallon. Those are not really big cars. But if you're gonna be painting a 64 Impala, you're painting these big full-size cars, big cars, or a pickup truck, then let's change it a little bit. You're gonna need at least 2 gallons. Now, I said pickup trucks. Let's talk about pickup trucks. Usually, all pickup trucks, you're gonna need 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons, without a doubt, between painting the cab, painting the bed, and everything else. It's so much square footage that you have that you're gonna be there for days painting, so you want to make sure you have enough paint on that project. So that's where the gallon comes into play. Now let's not forget this bad boy, candy concentrate. Man, I love looking at this bottle. It is so sexy. So candy concentrates are completely different. This is a very concentrated pigment of a translucent candy, and this is what you use to add into intercoat. So we always recommend 8 parts to 1, and then that total amount equal to 1-to-1 with reducer. So it's 8 parts of intercoat to 1 part of candy concentrate. Let's make this even easier for you guys to get. So for every gallon of intercoat, you want 2 of these candy concentrates dumped in there. So let's say I got an empty gallon of paint. I'm gonna add my 2 concentrates in there, and then I'm gonna fill it all the way up with intercoat. Shake it around, and boom, now you have a whole gallon of candy ready to be mixed with reducer and spray your project. That's how candy concentrates work. And candy concentrates are great for the guys that are doing airbrush work, or you're doing patterns on your car. It doesn't matter if it's a lowrider or a hot rod. This is the secret sauce. It makes your life so much easier, and I'll be honest with you, it makes your life a lot cooler, because there's nothing better than a beautiful candy paint job rolling down the road and everybody's just in awe how gorgeous the colors look, especially our paint. Our colors are so translucent, so vibrant, so bright. I really went through a lot of R&D to make sure that you get the best when it comes to candy and any of our paints from Tropical Glitz. Let's talk about these two cousins, the RTSs. So this is 4 ounces of ready to spray paint. And this is great for, I'll give you an idea. You can actually add this into resin. If you're into resin art, this already is formulated with the right ingredients to drop a couple of drops of this into your resin tinted. But this is for airbrushing. Anybody wants to airbrush murals, airbrush model cars, airbrush a helicopter, patterns, doesn't matter. This is exactly perfect. Now, this also plays a big role in the guys that don't know what you want to buy for a color. Let's say you're like, what color do I want? And then you're there on the computer scrolling, and your wife doesn't know it's 2 a.m. You're still scrolling on the computer, secretly shopping for the car that you always tell her, oh, no, I only spent $400 in this, but in reality you spent $800 because you're always lying through your teeth about how much you spend on your cars. This is the secret sauce right here. So you buy, let's say you're on our website and you find this gorgeous color, seductive red, but you're not sure if you're really gonna like it. You buy a 4-ounce bottle of an RTS of seductive red. You get home, your wife is away, she's grocery shopping, and you do a spray out. Boom. You look at the color and you're like, I love it. And then that's how you know exactly what the color looks like in person. And then from there, you eventually go and buy the color. So that's what the RTSs really play a big factor for us. We have a lot of people that purchase them just to do their projects and to paint, but there's a large amount of people that purchase our RTSs and even our spray cans to do spray outs. They want to see what the color looks like in person. So they'll do a spray out, make sure it's exactly what it is, and then from there they buy it. But this is great for everything I just told you. Airbrushing, model cars, anything hobby related. We have it. Or let's say you're painting a panel and you just want enough paint of that particular color. Why buy a pint? You can buy a couple ounces. Same thing with this. This is the 2-ounce bottle. And it's everything you need is all in here. It already has its reducer, it has the paint, it has, you heard that? Little glass marble. So everything is here. It's very simple. It's take off the top, put it in your airbrush, put it in your paint gun, and shoot. You don't have to do anything else. We took all the science out of it for you. Do the right thing, buy the right size. Size does matter. Every project depends on what you're using. And if you have a big car, use a little common sense. And if you have a question, just shoot us an email. We're here to help you. We want to make this as simple and fun for you guys to get the best results with our products.
Made in day, baby. Ooh-wee.
All right, let's talk about something everyone's too afraid to admit. Size matters. Yeah, I said it because when it comes to paint, grabbing the wrong size for your project is like showing up to a barbecue with a single hot dog. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.